Hello and welcome to this lecture where we're going to continue looking at the browser. In this lecture, we're going to look at adding folders to the browser, renaming these folders, deleting these folders, and also searching in specific folders in the browser. So the first thing I'm going to show you is adding folders to your browser. So say, for example, you have some drum samples stored on your computer. You can add a folder to the browser so you can access these drum samples very fast and efficiently. So I'm just going to go over to my desktop as I have some drum samples saved there. Now I'm going to drag this folder and drop it in the browser. And now you can see we have this new folder in the browser which allows us to quickly access these samples. So I'm just going to add a new pattern now. And I'm just going to call this sample example. And now I can just drag one of these samples over to the channel rack. And now I've just typed in some steps on the step sequencer. And let's have a listen to this back on pattern mode. So now if we ever want to add some of our own samples to the channel rack, we can do this really quickly. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how you can rename this new folder. So to do so, go over to Options and then go down to File Settings. And here under the File tab, you can see this folder here is the folder we've just added to FL Studio. Now you can just simply double click over here under Browser Name, and this allows you to rename this folder. So I'm just going to call this Sample and hit Enter. And now let's close the settings window. And here you can see our folder has been renamed to Samples. And I'm just going to show you another quick way to add a folder to our browser. So we go back over to Options again, and then go down to File Settings again. And then under the File tab, you can see this small file icon. And if we click on this, here we can quickly navigate and locate our sample folder. So here I have another folder that I wish to add to the browser. And we can also rename it the same way as before. Just double click over here under Browser Name. And here I'm going to call this one Snare Samples and hit Enter. And I'm just going to close this settings window again. And now in the browser, you can see Snare Samples has appeared. And if we click on this, we have the samples that I wanted to add to the browser. And again, we can drag this over to the channel rack. And I'm just going to type in some steps on the step sequencer and play this back again under pattern mode. And you should be able to hear the snare on beat 2 and beat 4. Great. One other thing to note is you can quickly audition between the different samples in the browser by using the up and down arrows. So this allows you to quickly audition the different samples that you have available to you in your browser. I'm just going to delete this snare in the channel rack as we don't need it right now. So I'm just going to right click on this and go on Delete. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how you can delete these folders that you've added to the browser. So to do so, go over to Options, and then go down to File Settings again, and then under the File tab, go down and find the folder that you wish to delete, and then right-click and go down to Clear. I'm also going to delete the other one too by right-clicking and going on Clear as well. Okay, so now if we close this window, you can see in the browser that the new folders that we added previously have now been deleted. One thing to note, even though we deleted the folders in the browser, FL Studio is still able to access the file, which is why we can still hear the sample back. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how you can search for things inside the browser. So we do have the search icon up here, which is handy. So for example, I could type in kick, and it will search for items in the browser with the word kick in it. However, for this example, I know I want to find a kick that's in a certain folder. So for this example, there's a file that I wish to find in this packs folder. So a quick way of searching is to right click on this packs folder and then go down to Smart Find in this folder. And here I'm going to search for Dubby, for example. So when I hit enter, it will open up the folders and find the sample with the word Dubby. So as you saw there, we're able to quickly find a specific file inside a specific folder. So all you need to do is just right click Smart Find this folder, and this time you're going to search for Kick. And here it's taken me to the Kicks folder. Okay, so that's the end of this lecture. We've gone through adding folders to the browser, deleting and renaming these folders, and also how to search specific folders. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.